Hello and welcome to What Am I Rolling, a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast, hosted by me, Fiona. This week, I'm joined by my friends Lucy and Dean for Goblin Quest, a GM-less tabletop RPG about slapstick violence and fatal incompetence, designed by games developer Grant Howat. Now, this is actually the second Grant Howat RPG we've played on this podcast, the first one being Honey Heist way back in episode 1. You can find out more about Goblin Quest and links to Grant's other projects on Patreon. That's www.patreon.com/GSHowat, and Howat is spelled Howittt. I'll add links to Grant's Patreon on the What Am I Rolling website and in this episode's show notes. The basic premise of Goblin Quest is as follows. Each player controls 5 goblins, in sequence, not parallel, who attempt to achieve a basic task. However, the goblins are unlucky creatures and not very smart, so even the simplest of actions may have a chance to lead to a sticky, permanent end. As Goblin Quest breaks up quite nicely into distinct sections, I'll go into a quick overview for each section before each part of the one-shot. One last thing before we begin, naturally there are times in this one-shot where the players and myself, mostly myself, get the rules wrong or forget something plot-wise. Whilst we always endeavour to stick to the rules wherever possible, at the end of the day, we all make mistakes, and what matters most is that everybody enjoys themselves. And with that, let's get on to character creation. So unlike most tabletop RPGs, in Goblin Quest, players will create multiple goblin characters to play, as the fragile nature of goblins often results in their untimely deaths. All of the players' characters will be part of the same goblin clutch or nest, and they will share some family similarities, but each of them will have their own individual quirks. When a goblin dies, they will be replaced with a new one from the player's clutch, until there are no more goblins left. Any new goblin turning up in a scene will be fully aware of the plan and the nature of the Goblin Quest.
A new day dawns on the great battle camp. The orcs march into the square outside their barracks, the hobgoblins file and cross-reference in the grey wards, the bugbears plot and scheme in the Dun Inn. Above it all, the Black Tower of Wizards stand proud, holding the wicked source of generals that command the army to the war. And underfoot, in the dark caverns under the world, in the green pits, spawn the goblins. Goblins are bred for war, for cannon fodder, for hopeless attacks, for death. You are a goblin. You have 1 week to live, and you're going to make your mark. You're going to undertake a Goblin Quest.
Ooh.
Exactly. In most games, you play sort of one character. As you see on your sheets, you've got 5 characters. It's because you're probably going to die very quickly. There's a sheet there for you guys to look at. So the first thing, fill out the section called Clutch. So under honorific, so it's at the top there, you write like a surname. So you could be like Longtooth or Butterfingers or the Grim or That Smells Funny, and there's a sheet there that's got some examples. So if you want to take one, that's fine. If you want to make one up, absolutely fine as well.
I think we know what I'm going to go for.
What are you going to go for, Lucy?
The short.
So all your goblins are going to be something the short,
Yes.
which I quite like. What about you, Dean?
Who said that thing?
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it has to be not supposed to be here. That's they're not supposed to be here. Absolutely. I'm glad we're all on the same page. We're not like, we're all crap goblins.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I have a picture of my goblins already.
Excellent.
And hey,
And then the
not
bottom
crap.
of the bottom.
Great things come in small packages. So, just saying.
You're putting it out there. Okay.
Yep.
So under expertise, so underneath that one, sorry, I'm the sheet back for you. Pick something that your gang of goblins are sort of good at. So that could be like running away, ganging up on things, or looking pathetic enough to escape harm. But you can, again, something you can make up, or if you want to take something from that sheet, go for it.
Making it look like you can read and write. Is that what you're going to?
No.
So are you going for that one, Lucy? Or
Yeah, I'm going to go for that
what
one.
are you going for, Dean?
Sounding like it was our idea.
I love that. That's so good. Oh, it has to be not blending in. For me, that has to be it. So
Garish goblins.
under quirk, note down something that all your goblins in your clutch are or have. So this could be covered in stolen hair, unusually long ears, brightly patterned skin, impressively stupid, or anything else you can come up with.
Sorry.
Go on. That's okay.
Loves animals. Unrequited.
I'm taking this one. Under the impression they have magical powers.
Brilliant. Excellent. Not supposed to be here, not blending in. Oh, well, I guess for me, if I'm not supposed to be here but not blending in, it has to be I have a noteworthy hat, right?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Garish dress set.
yeah, exactly. Worthy hat. Yeah, decide what your goblin's dream will be. Every goblin has a dream, and thanks to sort of lazy genetic imprinting, all goblins in your gang have the same dream. So pick one from the list below, or make up your own. So you've got a few there. So if you want to read them out as you go and discuss them, go for it.
Oh, what's the next one?
Your dream. Diplomat.
Diplomat, to meet interesting people. Or the traveller, to discover new places. Ooh. No?
I'm going for something else. I know what I'm going to do.
What are you
Beast
going to
friend.
Nah.
What are you going to do?
Celebrity. Warrior.
Leader. They want to be at the top of the big black tower.
Oh, really?
Aspirations.
I love it. You go straight for the wizards. I love it.
Well, they have magical powers. It makes perfect sense.
That is so true. Brilliant.
Oh, I think I've got to be beast friend, to make friends with animals, even though it's unrequited.
I love it. I love it. All right.
You're playing yourself as a goblin, aren't
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing to do in an RPG, let's be honest. What do I want to do?
you? Survive.
It is. Just survive and get out of there. Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. If I don't want
Considering
to
they're not supposed to be there to start with.
I guess just like live a normal life. Like, be unremarkable, I guess. There you go. Be unremarkable. Finally, decide what your ancestral heirloom will be. So it's something that's been handed down through your clutch for generations, in the quotation marks, so, and no way found in the bins near the spawning pits half an hour ago. Yeah, so they could be like the bidlin of protection, the incredibly lucky rope, it's something that you always had with you, basically. And then write that down on your sheet.
I know what mine is. The eyeglasses of seeing, in brackets, things that are close to you.
What about you, Dean? What are you going for?
Well, it fits in with my goblins.
Yeah?
The pool ball in a sock of destiny.
And if you wish to, you can draw it on the sheet, but I won't make you do that. Oh, I tell you what, I'll probably go for the orc's helmet then, if that will go with a noteworthy hat. That's sort of the quirk.
Ah, yes.
That will do it. So, alright, so now we've done sort of the basic sort of clutch of the group, so all sort of those who can name your first goblin. So we've got some names on here, some first names, if you want to have a quick look. Every goblin has a name, either chosen by themselves or assigned to them by the people. Common names, obviously, on that sheet. It's like Spit, Globet, Blick, Snuckard, Drip, Wonk, Dreg, etc. Or you can make one up. So,
I have.
oh, yeah?
Git.
Excellent. Already into it, Dean. I love it.
Yeah.
First one, why?
You're going to end up with a whole sentence.
Wait, what's your surname again?
Why the short? Why?
What was your name again then?
Git, who said that?
That's brilliant.
I already
Okay.
know what my second and the next name of my goblin would be.
You can put that down if you want. You can say that later on. For me, I've got not supposed to be here. So, because we've got questions. So it's like what or who. So who not supposed to be here? I'll go back for the first one. Who? Question mark. Each goblin has a defining feature, a word or two that describes them to set them apart from the other goblins. Could be something as simple as fat, sneaky, or bossy, but it might be as complex as dreamer of a better life or walks backwards. Or you can make your own up. So
Gotcha. Right. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna make mine really weird. It's gonna hate animals as well as love them.
He loves animals, and then when it's not
just
returned, he
mental.
hates them, and it just turns bitter
see, like
and
a
twisted.
cat, the cat of goblins. Then.
Yes, they are mean. Don't like cats.
What about you, Dean?
Git has delusions of grandeur. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, and
Can I draw faces on my
you
goblin?
can. So once you've done your first goblin, you can choose the next one. And we can go through this for all the goblins, by the way. I'm just doing this as an example as the
Yep,
first
no
goblin
problem.
one, so it definitely for the defining feature it has to be obvious. So it's definitely obvious I'm a goblin.
So after a lot of time and very little thought, our goblins were as follows. Lucy's goblin clutch consisted of Y, who had a strong dislike of animals, Love, who was not all there, Nine, who had a strong German accent, Wee, who had a strong French accent, and Rule, who thought they had godlike powers. Dean's goblin clutch consisted of Git, who had delusions of grandeur, Wat, who had an ear trumpet, Hey, who had panicky eyes, Oi, who drooled a lot, and Zog, who, unlike their siblings, was a nonconformist. Fiona's goblin clutch consisted of Who was obvious, What, who was tall for a goblin, When, who had squeaky boots, Why, who constantly whined, and How, who was utterly clueless. An interesting bunch of characters, you'll agree.
Final thing for this character creation bit is to practice your goblin voice. Who would like to go first with their goblin voice?
I will! Why?
Come on, Dean, what's yours?
I'm in charge! Me! I lead! You follow!
I don't think I can top even those voices.
Who, what, when, why? Once all the goblin characters have been created, players then need to determine what sort of quest they're undertaking as a group. Making a quest is done by asking a series of questions that some or all of the players will answer. What do you want to do? What materials do you need to do it? What are you doing to get ready? How are you actually going to do it? And what goes wrong? By answering the first 4 questions, the players will have created their quest, and this quest is then broken down into 3 main tasks, and subsequently each task is then broken down into 3 stages. The final question, what goes wrong, introduces the concept of misfortunes into the quest. As goblins are inherently unlucky, the players will need to determine the misfortunes which will occur on occasion throughout the quest. By rolling on the misfortune table, players will first determine where the misfortune hits within the first task, and then roll again to determine what that particular misfortune is. This is repeated again for the remaining 2 tasks, resulting in 3 misfortunes occurring in the quest overall. Finally, once the 9 stages of the quest and the misfortunes have been determined, players will need to assign the difficulty ratings. These represent the difficulty of the task in hand, and are eroded by goblins achieving successes in play. For the first task, the difficulty of each stage is equal to the number of players minus 1. The second task, the difficulty of each stage is equal to the number of players. And the third task, the difficulty of each stage is equal to the number of players plus 1. If a misfortune is attached to a stage, this increases the difficulty by half the number of players rounded up. Finally, before the quest begins, the players must decide on a method to get rerolls. There was a number of suggestions for rerolls found within the Goblin Handbook. Before our session, we decided to go for the boss hat. Basically, every time a player wished to reroll, they had to wear a hat in real life. Simple, really.
We'll go on to stage 2. I know it's such a... So this is where, you see at the bottom of the sheet, we've got a thing called quest. So the book, you see with the yellow post-it notes in, those are quests.
Okay.
Like, those are the ones I sort of picked out. So people have suggested quests that goblins can go on and have a read of them. Read any aloud that you want to do. So the first question we should just sort of ask ourselves is, each sort of goblin gang we have has a goal. And you notice that throughout the book, we've got a load of suggestions for quests that we can do, or we can make up one of ourselves. But it's something that would, you know, what our expertise are in, like what our quirks and what our dream is. You know, so it could be anything you like. We'll probably pick one each, and it will go like, say, task 1 will be like quest 1, and then links to quest 2 or task 2, and then links to task 3.
Okay.
Oh, I'm doing the last one. Things are getting too silly around here. Sneak into the manor house and steal a baby.
Yay!
Alright, so I guess we'll do that as task 3 then. So we'll write that down on your sheet then.
So steal baby.
That's my one.
Well,
I think we're doing them together though.
So we'll all be helping out.
Yeah, but
right,
we're picking one each, I assume.
Exactly.
Okay.
Task 3, because it's very labyrinth.
Yes, it really is, isn't it? I am the Goblin King.
Oh, no, I am the Goblin King.
Oh, you're the leader. Oh, you worked it. That's perfect. So
I saw a couple of animal ones in there.
I know, so I think I'm probably going to go for.
Yeah, that's good. If it links to your dream or anything like that, yeah, perfect.
For mine, it would have to be bit of a paradoxical character. Why? Who hates animals but loves them also.
It's for your whole group, though.
It's for the okay.
Because if he dies, if you hit him, spoilers,
he will.
But
they all have a quirk of loving animals.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you have found a cute little kitten. Bring it to the Goblin King and ask if you can keep it as a pet.
Perfect. All right. So we'll put that as task 1 then, shall we?
Task 1. Okay. There we go.
Okay. So I've been able to pick task 2. I'm going to somehow combine those two. That's all right. That's good. So my dream is to be unremarkable.
Nice.
Okay. So I'm going to go for the Granny Goblin's birthday. Find her a proper gift. She likes blue. So I think that's mundane enough.
That's so sweet.
That's so mundane.
Aww.
Granny Goblin's birthday. We've all chosen the quest. So Dean, you chose the
Steal a baby. That's so me.
Well, actually, I'll go in proper order. So, Lucy, you we've got task 1, which is we found the kitten.
Yeah.
We're going to present it and ask the Goblin King if we can keep the kitten.
Yeah.
Then we're going to sort of my quest or task, which is it's my Granny Goblin's birthday. She likes something blue, so I need to find her a present.
Yeah.
And then we're going to end with Dean's quest, which is it's all too silly. We're sneak into the manor house and steal a baby.
Yes. Silly.
Progression has gone up.
Exactly. Not real life.
So you can see under each sort of task or quest, we've got sort of 3 stages of each one. So basically, we're breaking it down into like scenes, I guess.
Okay.
So say we'll talk about Lucy's one. So task 1 is we're going to find the kitten and present it to the king. We're going to break that down into 3 sessions. So what would we get? We'd be finding the kitten, right?
Yes.
So I guess we'd be trying to catch the kitten. You see what I mean? We're trying to break it down into a story.
Okay, I think that they found the kitten, as in because maybe it's been abandoned by its mum and it's sort of just sitting there in the corner of. I'm trying to think where they would be.
I have a map if you like. You don't have to say this because we've come out of the sort of pits, basically.
Goblin mud pits we've come out of.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we found a little kitten covered in slime at Slime Lake.
Slime Lake, okay.
Rescue
so what do you want? So we're going to have to capture the kitten, correct? Like, or try and
rescue it.
So it could already be in the slime.
Yes.
Okay, so that means stage 1, rescue kitten from slime pit. So stage 2 then. Ultimately, the victory would be we've got the kitten in some way. Stage 2, I guess, is going to. Unfortunately, you are not the Goblin King yet.
I know.
I am so sorry about that. But like, we shall go to the head Goblin or the Goblin King. Where do you think? So would it be a scene about on the way there, or trying to persuade to get an appointment with the king? What do you think, Lucy?
Okay, I'm trying to think. So we've rescued the kitten. The kitten is getting it slime free, but I'm guessing that's just all covered in stage 1. Or maybe
we'll find out. Like, it doesn't
that's
have
true.
To be, but like,
Okay,
I'm just thinking like so this is like Act 2.
Yeah,
we've got the kitten in some form, and we're
now trying to find where the Goblin King is, and if we can try and meet him.
Yeah,
I don't know where he is. I mean, they're probably not the brightest bunch, are they? Really?
It does say goblins are great in this. To be honest. Okay, so what do you say? You've got the map there, haven't you?
Yes.
So where do you think we could ask for directions or help, or like you could make up where we could go? We could already be at the Goblin
Maybe
Palace.
we could go for a pint at the Dun Inn, and people tend to know things at pubs, don't they?
All right, so
we could go there for a drink, and then
find out the king's location
at the inn.
From the inn.
Yes.
Yeah? All right, put that down. Finally, then we found out where the king is. Mm-hmm. We get there.
Yeah.
I guess then the final stage would be that we present our case, or you present the case to keep the kitten. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of it. Like persuade the king to keep the kitten. I guess is the final stage there.
Okay.
All right. So we'll do me next.
Okie dokie.
So it's my Granny Goblin's birthday. I know she likes blue. What else do you think? What do you think? Where would I start to try and find a gift, or where would what inspiration would I have? As 5 goblin grandsons or daughters.
There's a nice little shop nearby.
We could go to the human village and try and find. Go to the shop and try and procure something, I guess.
Ooh,
like one of those. We could go to Tiger, or the medieval version of Tiger.
Yeah, I think we should do that. That'd be interesting. Yeah.
All right, fine. So yeah, I guess
shopping in the human village.
Yeah, go shopping in the human village. We'll do that. Okay, we've got into the shop somehow. I think I will find the perfect gift for Granny Goblin, but because we're goblins, probably don't have any money. So it is trying to procure this gift without causing suspicion or awareness. So basically, getting the gift, I guess.
Getting
would be
the gift.
Stealing.
Stealing.
Okay, getting in. And my final stage, I guess, would be getting to the party on time, perhaps. Do you think?
Sounds good.
Yeah. And presenting it. Hopefully, she's not dead or something. I assume Granny Goblin in my head is like really old goblin, like.
Just don't let her let in a wolf.
Yeah, she's like at least 10 days old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Dean.
Well, stage 1 for sneaking into the manor house and stealing the baby is probably finding the manor house.
Finding the manor house. Sounds good. So what do you think, like, because with you, because you want to be in leadership, maybe it's something to tie in with you being a leader to show that you can prove people that you are really willing to steal from the human world, perhaps.
That sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. Yeah. What we could do within the in my task as well, shopping in a human village, you could spy out, hopefully, like a couple with a rich
Sounds
So,
good.
you know? Yeah.
That sounds good.
A rich couple with a pram.
With a baby.
I'm coming back for you.
Yeah, that's it. Earmark
I'll
that
see
for
you later.
Exactly. Stage 2 then.
Will be breaking in or sneaky like.
I'm putting that down word for word. Breaking in, all sneaky like.
All sneaky.
You didn't put a G after breaking, did you? It's breaking.
I
just put break in.
I put breaking.
Alright.
Third stage then is going to have to be getting out.
Well, you're getting out with the baby.
Getting out with the baby?
What do we want to do with the baby afterwards?
Oh, we haven't thought that far ahead.
Okay, I guess that's
We
fine.
literally have no idea. It just seemed like such a good idea. We've got a baby. You haven't got a baby. Look at us.
I love it.
Leadership
Winning.
material.
Break out. Break in, all sneaky, like break out with baby.
Yeah.
Break out
I love it.
with Baba.
It's totally an 80s film waiting to happen.
Okay, so next thing we're going to do is, I love this question, it says, what goes wrong? So I will need one of you to roll a d6 for me.
Okay.
Just roll it in there for me.
4.
4. For your one,
Yeah.
it will happen in stage 3, or
Okay.
misfortune.
Right, so there's a problem.
It will be a misfortune in
Right.
stage 3.
Okay.
We'll write that. So it's stage 3. What I need you then to do for you Dean,
Yep.
you roll 2d6 for me.
Yep.
Yes, 2d6. So
A 1 and a 4 or
Okay.
5, depending on how
So
you roll them.
here is your misfortunes table. You can choose the category and then something specific using those. So you got 4 and a 1, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So read out what
Four.
what the possibilities are.
So, an orc war chariot goes wild and crashes through the scene. Or, swifts appear and dive bomb the goblins, hoping to eat their myriad lice.
Oh,
I'm going for that one.
yeah.
Yay!
All right, write that in.
Literally, as we're getting out of the house, we're attacked by swifts.
So this is on breakout stage 3.
Yeah.
My Swifts.
Attacked by swifts.
You know why? Because I'm getting a kind of Disney princess vibe, but in reverse. They're all protecting the baby.
Oh,
And they're
that's
like, oh, look, I'm singing. And then they start dive bombing, and it all.
I love
Mind of the
it.
Valkyries comes in, and it just gets
Da, da,
terrible.
da, da,
Yeah, exactly.
da, da, da.
Okay, Lucy, for your
Yes.
task, I need you to roll again 1d6 to say which stage it's in.
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to happen in stage 2 of yours, which is
Finding
Finding out the
king's
king's location and done in.
Alright, so roll 2d6 again for me, and then you can pick it on the...
So 2 of them.
Yeah,
Yep.
2 of them. Yeah,
Okay.
correct. It's a
Oh, well, that makes that
5.
really easy. And a 5.
Five
so
and a
there's
5.
only one choice.
Leftover magic animates and upsets an animal skeleton.
Oh, maybe a
that's-
trophy in the
That's
done
really
in.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we put that-
Especially as you love animals so much.
Exactly.
Okay, so for stage 2 for yours then, I said
At the done-in.
So what was it? Just read it out again, please. So I can-
It is leftover magic animates and upsets an animal skeleton.
Brilliant. Oh, that fits really well with you.
Yeah,
That's really
that is really
Spooky.
weird. It is spooky.
So it's me now. So I'm going to roll 1d6 for my misfortune. As a 1. Oh, that's lucky. That's going to be stage 1. Brilliant. And
We've all kept it different.
it's different. It's also shopping in the human village.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, wait, no, it does.
Regardless of being
Okay.
a goblin or not, really, I think.
What happens?
If only that's the. Alright, and then roll 2d6 for. That's a 5 and a 2 now. So 5-2 is a super intelligent mutant rats outwit the goblins.
Yay!
Or 2-5, a bitter wizened goblin elder, 6 days old, casts a bad luck curse on the party. What do you guys think? Which one?
I think you should be outwitted by the rat.
You both.
Yeah. Literally, like you end up
I was a
buying
little
something
rat.
from a
Yes,
really smart rat.
outwitted-
Yeah, but
out-
rats are super smart. Don't get me down.
I don't
that
know.
road, seriously.
I know.
Rats are the
By
best.
super-
We're going to end up with magic beans. And
intelligent.
they won't even be blue. But we'll think of it.
Intelligent rats.
Because we're goblins.
Brilliant.
Do we
Okay.
even know what blue is? Probably not.
Raddies.
Okay.
Goblins are colourblind.
Okay.
So next section. So once we've worked out the 9 stages of our quests, we need to assign difficulty ratings, and they represent the difficulty of the task in hand, and are eroded by goblins achieving successful play. So for the first task, each difficulty stage is equal to the number of players minus 1. So in our first mission, Lucy's mission,
Yeah.
the first, so all stages will be 2.
Yep.
So we have to have 2 successes, basically.
Yep.
Except for the final stage, whenever there's a misfortune attached to a stage, it increases the difficulty by half the number of players, rounded down.
2, 2, 3.
Exactly. See, Dean's on it, so.
Yeah.
If you write down 2, 2,
Yeah.
3 for yours.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. No, hers is 2, 3-2.
No, it'll be 2-2-3.
No, because her problem is
You
in
are
the second
right.
one.
Yes,
So,
you're right.
yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
That's
yes.
okay.
2-3-2. Misfortune is in stage 2.
In stage 2,
You
yeah.
got it. Okay, and then task 2, or quest 2, the difficulty of each stage is equal to the number of players. So that will be for... so it'll be 3, and then... so it'll be 4, 3, 3, because misfortune is in stage 1.
Yeah. Which means that task number 3 is going to be the hardest task as well,
Yeah.
isn't it?
4, 3, 3.
So for the third task, the difficulty of each stage is equal to the number of players plus 1.
Okay, so 4, 4.
Yeah, 4, 4.
And then the last one is going to be harder.
How does that work then with the last
5.
one?
So misfortune...
Yeah.
Because you
adds,
plus...
Yeah,
okay.
adds 1 to it.
Adds-
Right, okay, I get it now. I'm with you.
So, I'll just go through it again, so we've all got on the same page.
Yeah.
So quest 1, we present and ask the Goblin King to keep a kitten.
Yep.
Stages are, we rescue the kitten from the slime pit, find out the king's location from the Dun Inn, and present the kitten and keep it, and ask for
To be
position.
kept.
Yeah, persuade him
And
to
that
keep it.
is the difficulty for that. So stage 1 is 2, stage 2 is 3, stage 3 is 2.
That's right.
Oh
yeah.
god, okay. And the misfortune in stage 2 is that leftover magic upsets and animates a animal skeleton.
Yep.
Quest 2,
Yeah.
Granny Goblin's birthday, she likes blue. Stages 1 to 3 are shopping in the human village, and that's difficulty 4, because there's a misfortune of we've been outwitted by rats.
Yep.
Stage 2 is stealing the gift, which
Yep.
is a difficulty of 3. And the final stage is getting to the party on time, which is a difficulty 3.
Yep.
Final quest is it's all a bit too silly. Sneaking into the manor house and stealing a baby. Stage 1, finding the manor house,
Yep.
which is a 4 difficulty. Breaking in and all sneaky like is also 4 difficulty. And then finally breaking out with the Baba and being attacked by Swifts as a misfortune, which is 5 difficulty.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
All right. We all got
In
there.
the
we all got
bag,
that.
Dean, in the bag.
We all got that.
Okay, final bit of setup, I know we're almost there, is that we get to have something that is lucky to each goblin. So again, it's a bit like the ancestral heirloom,
Yeah.
Yep.
but here's a list of stuff we can have. Have a read through, see what you think. And this allows you to, if you don't like the rolls you do, you can re-roll them by using this item once per goblin.
I want the magic flute.
What does the magic flute do?
The magic flute, it's functionally identical to the king's stick, but it requires you to play a short burst of notes to magically summon a reroll. Probably better represented with a recorder or, for full comic effect, a kazoo. It's fine, I can totally just improvise with that. The magic flute is great because you get to pop on a musical instrument whenever you re-roll. Yeah, I'll have that. That'd be awesome.
All right, so that's a community thing, so we'd all have to have that. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, sorry.
we don't
We've
have
all
one
got
each.
to pop.
No, it's fine. What do you think then? I mean, I like the magic flute, but
There's
what
also-
do you think?
So there's like the lucky ear is always quite easy to remember. Is like basically you cut off one of your ears in order to re-roll. But there's also like the thumbs up, which someone
that's
else gets a
sad.
re-roll.
Why not just a boss hat? It's pretty similar to the king stick, but it's a hat. So that's fun. You have to wear it if you want to use the
Should I go
reroll.
and get a hat first?
I've got a
to wear?
hat.
I've got hats. I'm alright.
Hey, I've got a hat. I can.
You're getting us
What?
hats to wear.
Yeah.
There's one in my room on my coat rack.
Excellent. All right. So it's
Well, we
going to
could
be
use
what's
that,
it?
or
What's it called? The King's.
It's called the boss hat.
All right. So as our community
Also for a
item,
theme, it's the boss hat.
boss hat. So you get to use that like once per goblin, basically,
Okay, yeah.
and that allows you to re-roll if you don't like your dice.
No worries.
This is the hat that we all wear.
Wow,
Wow, that is a boss hat right there.
that is an interesting hat.
It's sort of 20s-ish, red.
Not when I wear it.
I love the idea that goblins just happen to have this hat.
This
and
hat of, yeah.
It's a pity it's not blue, but then I guess that would be
Once again,
that's the
probably
ground.
nicked it from somebody.
Probably.
Whenever a goblin attempts to do a thing, they roll a 6-sided die, or a 1d6, and compare the results to the doing things table. If they roll a 1 or a 2, that is an injury. The goblin is injured whilst attempting to do the thing, and must cross off one of their injury boxes and describe the injury. If both goblin injury boxes have been crossed off, they die in some ridiculous manner and are replaced by their successor. If they roll a 3, something bad happens, and the next goblin to act gets a -1 on their rolls. Similarly, if they roll a 4, something good happens, and the next goblin to act gets a +1 on their rolls. If they roll a 5 or a 6, that is a success. The goblin succeeds at the task that they're attempting, and the player can subtract 1 from the difficulty rating of the current stage. If the difficulty rating reaches 0, that stage is now complete. Players may add an additional d6 if they use any of their goblins' noticeable marks, or expertise, or ancestral heirloom, or the defining features to assist them in the attempt to do something. Players may interpret all the results they get on a roll. So, for example, it is possible for a goblin to succeed at a task, but be injured in the attempt. If a player rolls multiple good or bad things, they only have to describe a single thing, but the value it adds or subtracts from the following roll is increased by the number of appropriate things you have rolled. For example, if a goblin rolled 1 good thing and 1 bad thing, this would actually cancel out. But if the goblin rolled 2 bad things, the next roll would get a -2.
First quest is find the lost kitten. So Lucy, you're going first in this. So why don't you describe the scene as you come across this kitten in the slime pits? Just anything that comes to mind. Doesn't matter what it is.
Do I have to do it in my goblin voice, or do
Absolutely. you don't have to ask that question, Lucy. Of course you got to do it in your goblin voice.
What was my goblin voice?
Why? That's my voice. I was wandering out into the lake and I hear meow, meow. And so I wandered down to see what it was. And it was a kitten in the lake. It was very sad.
Brilliant, brilliant. What do you do?
I went into the lake and I swam, but then I realised I don't know how to swim.
Excellent. Alright, so now what I want you to do is you take one of these dice and then roll and then tell me what you get.
Okay. 1.
So you get an injury. The goblin is injured whilst attempting to do the thing. Cross off one of the goblin's HP boxes and describe the injury. If both of the goblin boxes are crossed off, they die in some hilarious manner and are replaced by the successor the next time the player acts. Okay, so that's 1 failure. So we've not. So you cross off. So tell us about the injury you have whilst you're swimming.
Well,
To get the kid.
I don't understand how swimming works. My
bottom is in the above the water bit, and my head is below the water bit, and it doesn't really work. Why?
So I guess you take in a lot of water, perhaps, and you drag yourself back to shore.
What's water?
Actually, no, it's true. It's slime. Your pH levels are off. So Dean, your first character, whose name is Git. You have seen
why?
try and rescue this kitten. What do you do?
Stupid goblin. I'm going to get a stick, because I'm proper clever, me. I'm going to get a stick, and I'm going to prod the kitten with it till it climbs on, and then I'm going to drag it, because I'm dead smart.
Excellent.
Thinking, see?
Thinking. Alright, so roll 1d6.
2. Better than a 1.
Injury.
Yay!
The goblin is injured. Describe your injury for me, Dean.
It was all going so well. I picked up the stick, and then I walked towards the slime, and then I tripped and stabbed myself in the eye with my stick. I think I might have to rethink my plan.
So yeah, cross off one of your HP boxes. Who's not supposed to be here? I can't do my goblin voice.
You've got to do the goblin voice.
I know. You guys done it so well. Okay. I see these guys failing at getting this fucking poor excuse for a dog out of the slime pit.
Loving the arms. For those who can't see Fiona right now, she's lifting her arms like to the same level as her shoulders in this kind of weird robotic way. It's wonderful.
I'm just trying to think. I look around and see there is a lifeguard ring that just happens to be at the slime pit, and I throw it out to the kitten and hope, for the love of God, it climbs upon it. So 1d6.
Her arms hurt.
That's also a 2. I throw the ring, and as I do so, I dislocate my arm. apparently, we have no success at that stage. We cannot proceed till we have 2 success. It goes back to Lucy. What I will say, because now we've had a good idea about what this game is, you can roll more than 1d6 if you use some of the features. So you know how we did before about your expertise, your quirk, your dream, or your ancestral heirloom, or your defining feature. If you somehow integrate that into what you're doing, you can roll another d6. So that you might improve your roll. We've all not done so well so far, so what do you say to that? Remind us what the defining feature, or your first goblin thing is.
Well, I want to save the cat, but I fucking hate animals! I hate them all, god damn it! But I want them to love me, and they don't!
What are you trying to do now to get the cat? So you've tried to swim out to it, and that's not worked. I keep getting
I'm gonna
deep.
yank it by its tail!
Oh my god.
I'm hating it now! I hate it!
Alright, roll 2d6 for me then.
Okay.
It's probably why I'm getting 2 crap ones. 5 and a 5. Perfect. So, that's 2 victories.
Yay!
So, a victory. Goblin succeeds in the task they were attempting to do, often in some barely noticeable way. Describe what happens and subtract 1 difficulty rating from the current stage. When it reaches you completed the stage. So you've done that. You've actually completed. So describe how you rescued the cat by pulling its tail, Lucy.
I resurfaced. I put my head above the water and my bottom was below the water. And then I saw the cat and I yanked its tail and went, meow! And then I slung it over to the side.
We have rescued a cat. We've completed stage 1 of the quest.
We're the best goblins in the world.
We did it.
All thanks to my leadership and genius.
See? Alright, so you've technically gone, so that's the end of that stage 1.
Okay.
So Dean, we've now got the cat. You know, as the leader, we need to now know where the king is. And you know the best way to get information is at the Dun Inn pub. So describe the scene and how you're going to get the information. And again, you can use your quirk, your dream, your expertise, your ancestral heirloom, or your defining feature to give you an extra roll if you choose to.
So, we walked towards the Dun Inn, which is, of course, the place to go to find out anything, as any good goblin knows. I stride in there because really I own the place, being the lord of the land, although I am incognito at the time. I sidle up to the bar and grab the barman. He's a bit taller than me.
Yes.
Get him to lean down and whisper in his ear, "Oi, git!
That's me.
Where's the king? The other king. Not me, the other king."
False king. Brilliant. Okay, so you are, I guess because you're using your dream. I don't know, roll 2d6 and hope for the best.
5 and a 4.
5 and a 4. Okay, so there's something good that happens as one of the victories. So there's something good is something fortunate occurs. An enemy leaves or is defeated. A goblin gets a lucky break. A new opportunity is revealed. Say what happens, and the next goblin, which will be me, gets a +1 to their rolls. So we get 1 victory, so something good.
Cool.
And then we get a plus onto the top of that. So we've got 3 to get through this fortune.
Yep.
So that's 1 success on that. So describe what happens, Dean. So what does the barman say to you?
He doesn't say anything to me. He is obviously intimidated by my amazing powers and my magicalness. However, on the wall behind him, I see a picture of the king, and he's outside the big black tower.
Excellent.
Putting 3 and 6 together, I immediately know that he's not in the Dun Inn.
Solid. What would you describe as the good thing that you pass on to me as the other goblin that's with you?
That he's not in the Dun Inn. Right. We have now eliminated one place from our inquiries.
Excellent. Good job. Okay.
The arms are back up.
So, I'm going to say, we have discovered that the king is not in the Dun Inn. But, as thanks to my fellow associates, we know he's at the Black Tower, or we assume so by this one pictorial evidence. But before we go on our quest, and to get more information, I decide to interview the other patrons of this bar. by challenging them to a drink off or a shot's gone. I don't know what they're called in this medieval term. I pick the person with the best hat, which looks like a very tall human with a very sort of flat cap, I'd say, and I go, aha! Not as good as my hat, which is an orc's helmet. So I use 2d6. Ooh, I'll do that. That's a 1 and a 4. Okay, so I die. Wrong.
No, because you haven't got an injury yet, have you?
No, I've got 1 injury,
Oh,
but I get a +1 from your thing.
Ah, okay.
I still die though, because the injury is 1 or 2. My bad. That's fine, but then I get it's instead of a 1 and a 4, it's a 2 and a 5.
Right.
So we still get 1 success.
Hey!
So I go to the answer. Damn! I confirm. I corroborate with the weird, tall, dark, princey person who turns out to be a wizard. Turns out his hat wasn't a flat cap; it was a wizard's hat. And we drink, we laugh, we cry, we also laugh again, and I die of alcohol poisoning.
That's a good way to go.
But, well, one could say alcohol poisoning, but the other would be when the wizard is drinking with me, the leftover magic from the drink and animates some random, stag's heads and the animals and the thing, and they cause a big ruckus in the bar. So I've died.
Oh, but for the greater good.
But we've got 2 successes so far. So Lucy, you need to wrap up and make sure you get the location of this without dying, and with 1 more success if you can.
Oh my goodness.
So, your friend who's not supposed to be here, has died of alcohol poisoning.
Just to remind you, we do have the hat.
We do. I've already said I've died.
Oh, okay,
so
that's fine. You're happy to die.
I'm happy to die just to get through this.
No
game,
problem.
So what are you going to do? You've got some information of where the king is and various locations, but the bar is now in complete chaos. How would you get around that?
I'm gonna run away! Run out of the bar!
Are you using any of your, are you just doing a straight roll for that, or is there anything you want to add to that? Your quirk, your dream, expertise? Is there anything you want to...
I run to the black to see the king because I want him to love my animal friend, which I hate. I hate the cat, but I love it. It needs to be my friend.
I love hate relationships. And I guess with the animals, the skeletons be animated as well. It's really
There's a lot of animals.
There's a lot of
around,
animal feelings going around.
Excellent. All right, roll 2d6 for me then.
4 and a 3.
4 and a 3. Okay. 3 is something bad happens.
No!
Something misfortunate occurs. An enemy appears, a goblin is left in a difficult position, an opportunity is lost. Say what happens. The next goblin gets a -1 to their rolls, so that'll be Dean.
I'm sorry.
But this is the thing, it cancels out because you also rolled something good.
Yay!
Something fortunate occurs, an enemy leaves, defeated, but the next goblin gets +1 in the rolls. So it cancels out, Dean.
Yay!
So what happens, Lucy? You're still where you were.
Yeah, you didn't get out. You didn't get to run.
I think describe something bad happens and then something good happens. What do you think happened?
The stupid cat attacked me. I don't like the cat anymore, and I've fallen out with him, and I don't care anymore. I'm just throwing it against the wall. It's mean, mean cat.
So that's something bad happens that you lose the cat or you throw away the cat?
Throw away the cat.
Okay, and then something good happens.
The cat is nice to me and comes back and wants to be my friend. I don't understand. Why?
Dean, we still need one. So we need one victory to end this scene. I guess the animals are still going and the thing. Again, Goblin dead. See, you're the friend throwing the cat and petting it. So it's been a very confusing time for you.
I've got a really good idea now.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge that wizard to a drinking contest in order to find out where the king will be. Because I think that's a great idea I've just had. No way that ends badly. No way at all.
You definitely have not seen this happen before.
No, exactly.
Excellent. So is that
where's it to?
Is that one?
Sounding like it was our idea.
Perfect! Yes!
Yay!
2d6, let's do this, come on.
A 4 and a 3. They cancelled each other out, didn't they?
Well, so something good, something bad. Describe it, Dean. What happens?
Well, apparently, I can't hold my drink. And probably vomit all over myself.
Oh no.
However, the wizard cannot hold his drink either. And probably vomits over himself. All of the animals that were animated by his magic also vomit over themselves. It's a very messy bar.
Brilliant. The new goblin, what? They're not supposed to be here. Whose defining feature is being tall for a goblin. Enters the bar looking for who? Sees this devastation and, unremarkable, ignore what's happening, go to the bartender and ask very nicely where the king of the goblins is. In a very unremarkable way.
Here we go.
That's 2 sixes.
2 sixes.
We're in.
Yay! Apparently, just asking him without being threatening is the way to go. Who knew?
So I goes up, try not to skid in all the vomit, past my fellow friends, past another goblin throwing a kitten at the wall. I ask again to the bartender, and he says, "Oh yeah, you're such an unremarkable goblin. I will tell you where the king is." And says, "Yes, what's the painting? It's all the Light Tower. That's just a painting. It's not his actual GPS location." And I asked, "What is GPS?" And I said, it's a modern thing. It's coming in. You all understand. And he says it's actually right next to us, right next to the slime pits. So we went on this detour for nothing. So I can grab my friends, or my friends or my brother, and take them next to the slime pit where the Goblin Palace is. All right. Lucy, we are now, scene is at the, I'm guessing at the king. We've got the audience, or we might be getting the audience. We need to make our case to the king. We need 2 success to pass this.
Okay.
What do you do?
I...
Don't forget the goblin voice. Okay, I do.
Oh, I'm gonna do the goblin voice. You don't worry about that. I'm gonna say hello to the king. Look at this cat! And then throw the cat down at his feet because I hate it. Look at it! Look at it! But I loves it. I loves the little face of the cat. Stupid.
Roll 2d6.
I love you.
Roll 2d6. Oh my god, please.
I was going to wonder how she's going to die.
6?
6-3.
6-3, okay. So, we get 1 victory.
Yay!
But also, something bad happens.
No!
And Dean, you'll get -1 to your roll next time.
Yes.
So describe the victory. What? And then describe something bad. What happens?
King loves the cat.
Oh.
He comes over and he strokes the cat. But the cat scratches him in his eyes.
Oh,
he
no.
hates the king because he only loves me. Stupid cat.
Please continue the story.
Your Majesty, worry not. I notice that your eyes have been plucked from your face by this mischievous kitten. However, I have the ability to restore your sight, for I have magical powers. Just bend over, close your eyes even more, and brace yourself.
Okay. Roll 2d6.
I've got a -1 for this, haven't I?
Yeah,
So
yes you do. Please don't die.
4 and a 5.
4 and a 5, so -1.
Yes, is it -1 to each dice, is
Yes.
it? Right, okay. So that's a 3 and a 4, which cancel each other out
Yes,
annoyingly.
it's something good and something bad. So
Right.
describe. That's no victory for us.
Okay.
So.
His Majesty bends right down, one king to another. And for a second, he can see as I wipe the blood from his face. However, on wiping the blood from his face, his eyeball goes with it.
Oh no!
That might require more magic. I think I'm going to have to try again.
It is now what? They're not supposed to be his turn. I have to do the arm.
It's a genetic trait.
It is. I see this happen, and I'm like, oh shit! This is not the unremarkable life I was expecting. But I also see the king has a very noteworthy hat, much more so than the hat that I have. So I think he cannot see me. So I think, to make him more pleased, I will give him my hat to put on top of it, so he is double hatted. And that will sort of please him in order for us to keep the kitten.
Nice.
I thought of it.
Yeah.
That's a 6 and a 3. So we get one
automatic success, which is what we needed.
Something bad happens anyway.
Yeah, oh no!
So, the king is pleased with having another hat. However, I am now without a hat. So I feel very sad as a result. And my mood affects the other people, including the one who likes the animals so much, or doesn't. I cannot tell. I've only known them for about 30 minutes.
So that's quest 1 complete. We've done it.
Yay!
Oh, we've only lost one goblin.
Goblin.
Good!
Task 2. It's like the next day.
Yeah.
My friends, as we did so well on our previous quest, I trust you. I have a task at hand. My great granny goblin.
Granny Goblin.
That's what she calls it.
No, don't laugh. Just because you don't have a granny goblin.
Why?
Exactly. I need to find her gift. All I know is I've not seen her in like at least 5 hours. And she likes blue. So I says we go to that human village. You know, the one they call Westfield Stratford. And we go and peruse these things they call shorpies. And we find something that's blue and sparkly. I hear the ladies like sparkly things and it's worth a lot more gold. But I don't know, whatever you think. Let's go to the human village.
Alright, so set the scene, Lucy. What's the plan? Our first stage is to shopping in the human village. Explain what we're up to.
We go into a shop that is the colour blue, and that is apple. We go into apple. Apple is the colour blue. Why?
You're not using any of your quirks or anything like that, so I think that's only a 1d6.
It's only a one. It's only a one.
Ooh, go for it then.
Two.
It's a 2.
That's an injury.
Oh, I'm dead.
The goblin is injured whilst attempting to do the thing. Cross out the one of the goblin's boxes and describe the injury.
I go into Apple, and all the salesmen, they throw their iPhones at me. The bastards! I have iPhones coming out of every orifice.
Oh my god. Death by apple. I also like to make a point that this is full difficulty, so we're
going to be here for a while.
Excellent. Alright, so you'll now move on to your next goblin when we come back to you. Dean.
So, I decided we should go to the Apple store because it's blue. And blue is a colour, and we is looking for a colour that may or may not be blue. I am indeed the most cunning of leadery gobbos. Defo. Yes, right, in we go. Yeah, follow me, lads. We need a blue iPhone, please. I say to the man.
You say to the tall half-elf.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely an elven store.
It totally is.
Don't like goblins in here.
That's a 1 and it's a 4.
Ah, can I use my hat?
You can, so describe what you're using with your hat for your one roll.
Once again, the iPhones rain down. However, I have the boss hat of leadership, repelling the assault and saving my goblin cranium from impact. I am luckily still alive.
Roll both dice again.
Or I might still be alive.
We'll find out. Go take the reroll. As a 5 and a 2.
2 still an injury, isn't it?
2 still an injury, and a 5.
But a 5 is good, is it not?
5 is a success. So.
Good.
Yay.
So describe your injury, but describe your success as well.
The blows rain down, heavy.
Do you die? Oh shit!
Heavy!
I'm quite sad,
The weight of
actually.
leadership is too much for me to bear! However, the final iPhone to lodge into my cranium is a very nice eggshell blue.
Oh,
It's actually quite sad. Got quite attached to that one, actually.
I'm sure they're all equally going to be like that.
Oh yeah, mine was death by iPhone as well.
I would say other suppliers are available. All right.
So we got a success though.
Got
there.
1 success. We need 3 more. Okay.
We've got an iPhone, thanks to the great sacrifice of our leader. But it's only one thing. Great Granny Goblin, she wants loads of things. Like, I think I think I will go and get her a proper hat. We, as you see in our clutch, we've all got noteworthy hats, but I think she needs a proper hat. So I looks round the marketplace and I spy a lady with a beautiful, she's got a proper ascot hat, ye old ascot hat, and I think I just have that. I just nick it off her. It's fine. That's not using anything, so it's not even unremarkable. I'm just not supposed to be there. That's a 1d6.
Oh.
And well, that's a 3. So that's
Something bad happens.
Something bad happens. I don't get the hat, but I grabs the lady's hair, and she's got a lot of hair, and she starts whipping it back and forth, and I can't let go.
Whip my hair back and forth.
And I'm causing basically a very big scene. A lot of people are looking at us right now. That's a -1 to your rolls, Lucy, from your scene. I'm so sorry. Describe your new goblin that's coming into play.
My name is Love. You have nice eyes, Fiona. Look at those pretty eyes.
No, my goblin's called Fiona, but okay.
But it knows you. Yeah, so what am I doing? There's all sorts of chaos going on.
I love the idea that you love that you just sat in the corner.
I don't even know. I wander over to Crazy Goblin with the hair, and I try to eat the hair of the lady. It's so tasty looking and brown like chocolate. But I go over to help the goblin.
So you're trying to bite what? They're not supposed to be here. 3.
Eat the hair. Tasty hair like chocolate.
Roll 2d6. I hope to God you don't get an
It's so
injury.
pretty.
Terrible.
6 and
Well, that's
3.
a success. And
So
something
1
bad
success, yes. Alright, so describe your success, Lucy.
happens. We have 2 successes so far.
Oh, no. Well, yeah.
I had one, and then I died.
Yeah, but there's a minus thing as well. So 5 is a success, but it's a 2, which is an injury.
Oh,
So we still success. So describe the success and then describe the injury.
Well, I had a lovely time eating the hair, but the hair caused me to choke, and I coughed up a big chocolate hairball, which I ate again, and it was so tasty. But in me eating the hair, the blue hat came loose.
Oh, okay.
The blue hat came loose, and so...
Not the other goblin. She's still attached to the hair.
No! You got the blue hat, though. That's the good thing. The blue hat's free to give to your granny.
I've been reminded that we've still got a misfortune which is being outwitted by super intelligent rats. So I'll just need to remind that in future, but that's okay. Dean, what does your new goblin do and say and what?
What? My new goblin is called what? And he squints and has an ear trumpet and a very difficult time hearing what is going on. Which means that this current scene is very confusing because everybody seems to be running around about hair. And I thought we were here for a blue. So I'm going to look for the blue. I'm leaving these gobbos around and I will go and look for blue. Lo and behold, there is a store that sells blue in pots. It's really good for sticking things together.
No. Oh no.
6 and a 4!
Alright, so that's a success. We're on 3 successes.
Successes.
And 4, it's something good. So 4 plus 1 to me. So what, describe the success and
I managed to take the pot off of the stall while the man in charge is busy distracted with flying hairballs and strange women screaming about being eaten. In the process, I get some of the blue on my hands, which is very lucky when a hat flies by, sticking to it. I now have blue pot and blue hat.
Bravo! Bravo, what?
I'm going to have to somehow get outwitted by super intelligent rats.
Yeah, I've left that to you.
Yes, I know, thanks for that. But I get +1 because
You do.
Yeah, okay. I am also called What, so it's very confusing when I see myself getting a pot and catching the hat. Because of the way this very privileged-looking lady throws me, I hit I fall actually down one of the drains, and I slip and I fall, and I'm separated from my friends. And whilst I'm down in the sewers, I come across some new chums. Yeah, these rats who say I'm very tall for a goblin. And I'm like, I know, I'm the black sheep goblin of the clutch. And they're like, okay, blah, blah, blah. We have a good chat for like 2 minutes. And they says, I knows where you can get some blue. And I'm like, brilliant, you show me the way to blue. And they shows me into the back of this van. And it says something like, pest control on it. And they go, look, all these blue pellets. And I'm like, sweet, Granny Goblin loves blue pellets.
Will the goblins ever find a gift of blue for Granny Goblin? Will they make it to the party on time? Will they decide that this has all gone too silly and it's time to steal a baby? Find out next time on What Am I Rolling? The What Am I Rolling podcast was created, recorded and edited by me, Fiona Howat. Its episode's players were Lucy Eyre-Tanner, Dean Horn and myself, Fiona Howat. This episode's RPG one-shot was Goblin Quest, created by Grant Howitt. You can support Grant on Patreon. Go to www.patreon.com/GSHowitt, spelled HOWITT. The theme music was 8-Bit March by Twin Musicon on twinmusicon.org, licensed under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you want to find out more about the podcast, check out the website. That's www.wairpodcast.com. Fancy getting in touch? Email the podcast at whatamirollingpodcast@gmail.com. Finally, follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at WAIR_podcast for the latest news on upcoming episodes. Remember, adventurers need not apply.